Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is the number 39 Chew review. And as you just saw, it will be another Levi Garrett product, and this time it is Levi Garrett plug. Now, right off the bat for reference, the plug bag compared to the regular size 3-ounce loose leaf bag. And that's even with the flap folded up once, so the label was fully showing. So this review is completely thanks to Berg's over at Berg's Dip Reviews, which was kind enough to send this down to me. There is a interesting aspect to this packaging, besides it being a lot smaller. Now, this is a plug that comes in a bag, and the Red Man also comes in the bag. I'm trying to think, but those may be the only two. I have a feeling maybe, and it's probably very hard to find, I have a feeling there may be a Taylor's Pride plug that also comes in a bag, but I'll have to check on that. So, as you can see, it's denoted as one plug. You have the normal coloring for Levi Garrett, the normal brand picture, branding. The warning label is obvious. It's basically the same on both sides. All right. Now, down the bottom is where there is a note here that is interesting. And I don't think you're going to be able to see it here. But over here you have the domestic and foreign count. It is in line with the other Levi Garrett products. Okay, so it is 47% domestic tobacco and 53% foreign, just as the Levi Garrett Extra and the Levi Garrett original regular product. Barcode, underage sale, and sale only allowed in the United States. It's right here where it has manufacturer's information, and it is a product of American Snuff Company of Memphis, Tennessee. But that's not what it says here, because this has been made at their Winston-Salem facility. Winston-Salem? I didn't know they had a... Yes, they have one, and there's been a tobacco factory there specializing in plug since 1883. So it says on the bottom here, and I'll try to get it up real close, but in 1883, a company was started. It was called Taylor Brothers. It was a tobacco company that specialized in chewing tobacco. A lot of plug, a little bit of twist, I believe, and some loose leaf. In 1953, American Snuff Company bought out Taylor Brothers, but they kept their factory. Now, since 1953 to the present, the factory has undergone numerous changes, and now evidently it is a state-of-the-art facility. I have seen pictures of the inside. It is very much up to date, but the factory in some form or another has been in operation since 1883. That factory, what used to be the headquarters and main facility of Taylor Brothers, which is why American Snuff Company makes a chewing tobacco called Taylor's Pride, that's where this was made at. All right. I have never actually seen a American Snuff Company product listed as coming from that facility, which is why it stuck out to me. The other big one from American Snuff Company that's made there, but I did not see it listed on the packaging at the time of the review, is the Cannonball plug. Is also made at that facility. So I'm going to pop this open here. Now, it's got a fold back tab. Like, you know, it folds over and it folds again and then it folds in a different direction. Unlike the Red Man, this actually would seem to have glue buttons. So I'm going to pop them open. Now the product in the bag feels good, but it doesn't feel like a normal plug. So I'm not sure if this has gotten bent out of shape or compacted in a certain way, because the label was pushed down over it in a sort of an odd manner, and it feels elongated and thin. Elongated this way and not thick enough this way. But it is bending and supple, so I'm hoping that everything is fine here. Glue buttons are giving me some problems now. Wow, they've really got the glue buttons in this one too. Good grief. Okay, well the product looks good, but it looks like maybe it got compacted in a weird fashion at some point. It's sort of pinched on the top end here. It was sitting like this in the bag, and this top end looks like it was maybe pinched a little bit. The product is tacky though to the touch. Smells like an original, but you can tell that it's sweet. It's got a brown paper on it that is very tacky. I'm going to see if it just falls off, because the product's in such good shape, I think it might. And it is, with quite a bit still on the paper, but that's all right. So you got some blonde bits in there, but all in all, it is a pretty dark. It's been treated liberally with whatever sweetening mixture they use. There are some blonde highlights. It is falling apart a little bit just because the top of the plug looks like it got pinched at some point. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to maybe pull this off. Yep, that's what I'm doing there with that. I'm going to hit the pause button, and I'm going to put in a little filler that I peel off the paper. I will be back in a moment. And I am back. This is really good. As plugs go, this is excellent. It really is. Now, because the bag had been pinched at some point, it fell apart a little bit, and I had a little bit of mess on the desk. And part of that is also that for these reviews, I pull the paper off so you can see the product in a fuller fashion. Tell you the truth, normally when I have had plug not in doing a review, I leave the paper on and bite it off, which I have done. I have bitten it off in some of these reviews, but I've always removed the paper. Normally, I do not even bother taking the paper off. You really don't have to. So this is sweet, as you would expect from Levi Garrett. This is a very sweet product, and probably the sweetest plug that I've had. Now, plugs are not quite as bad as twists, but some of the plugs can lean to the bitter side, and in fact, maybe not even lean. They can be bitter. Some of them, they vary how sweet they are, but I prefer the sweet ones, and this is the sweetest, I believe. Another one that was really good was the Cannonball. Days of Work is good, but others like the Apple from Pinkerton, it was sweetened, but it was really just taking the bitter edge off it. And then there was Brown's Mule. That was leaning bitter. But if you want a sweet plug, this is excellent. Now, plugs do have selling points. If you're in an area where people are not buying chewing tobacco. Like my area, you will know that you can go into a store and buy a bag, and when you get back to wherever you're going, realize that it is a very, very dry product, and in some cases I've had them where they're unusable. Plug holds its moisture better, longer. All right? And that is definitely a selling point for it. Between having it wrapped in cellophane or the bag and then having the paper wrap it, and the product itself being compacted and held tight in form, it holds its moisture. Okay? So you could have this and a loose leaf sitting a really, really long time on a shelf somewhere, and let's say a year and a half later, the plug will have, if any moisture, your best chance of finding any is with the plug. It's just the nature of the product. So this is good. I will finish this whole plug probably through the day tomorrow. The flavor's good. It's got chew levels nicotine. It's not really got a mouthfeel. It is staying formed. Thing you have to also realize with the plug is it's a finer cut that makes up the plug. So when it comes out of the mouth, any plug, you usually do have to swish pretty vigorously with water or whatnot, because it will leave behind like floater. It's like the chew version of floaters, basically. It's just because the tobacco leaf that makes up the plug is a finer cut, which they probably have to do to compact it and keep it formed. Anyway, so you got chew levels nicotine wise. It's staying fairly formed in the mouth. Okay, it's not migrating anywhere. Plugs do tend to get very soft in the mouth, and that's probably, I'm guessing, because of the finer cut of the leaf. All right, so they do get soft compared to loose leaf in the mouth, but they should stay formed and not start migrating. And this is fine. This is good. It's right here, and it's not going anywhere. Flavor is very sweet, but it's good. Now, I lean sweet anyway. I dip a Stoker straight daily. So, if you don't like sweet stuff, this probably isn't for you. If you don't like sweet and like a natural leaning bitter, then you probably want to go with Brown's Mule by Pinkerton. That may be more up your alley. Packaging is good on this. It had glue dots, compared to the Red Man product that didn't in a bag, which really surprised me. And now I'm starting to wonder if maybe I got an off bag and it was supposed to have glue dots. The product inside at the time was fine though, so no harm, no foul. But because it's a plug, the moisture level was good. The product was in good shape. At some point in the store or in shipping, the top of the bag had got pinched. That's why I had some fall apart. Not really a big deal, I mean, at the end of the day. So, all in all, a good product with a little bit of history. I'd give it a try if you can find it. This is going to be the one that you don't see too much. Although I'm hearing the same about the extra. This is the one that you're gonna have to hunt out. Very good flavor though. Sweet. So if you don't like sweet, as I said, this might not be for you. But beyond the sweet flavor, like all-encompassing flavor of this is really good. In fact, I'm enjoying this more than the extra product. So if you can find this, definitely might want to give it a try. All right, flavor's good, spits well, juices up, stays formed, soft but firm type deal. True levels of nicotine, but as I said, Chew's like a flavor thing for me. All right, I don't go to chew if I'm looking for a quick hit of nicotine. I just don't. That's not what this is for. Really juices up. I don't know if you. I'm hitting this mud jug like every. Anyway, this has been the review of Levi Garrett plug chewing tobacco. One plug in a small gold bag. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&Chew Guy. I'd like to thank again Berg's Dip Reviews for sending this down to me. Hate when that happens. Want to say hello and thank you. I got a number of notifications. Hello and thank you to Placer County Line, Wilford Caraballo, The Censorship Sucks, and Samuel Woodruff. Hello, guys, and thank you for subscribing. One person that's popped up in comments today that I noticed that I didn't get a notification from, I don't think I ever shouted out before, maybe I did, is Tyler Pierce. Hello, and if you have subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't, if you consider it, I'd appreciate it. I do hope everyone is well. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.